All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Brenden. I am the host of BigBearB Photography, and today we're at our first location. We just moved halfway across the country. We're in the Pacific Northwest. We're at currently we're at the High Steel Bridge in Washington, and it is very tall. The lovely lady behind the camera is trying her best to hold the camera steady as she's kind of scared of heights. But I'll show you kind of how tall it is later. We won't make her go too close to the edge, so a thumbs up for her down below for standing as close as she is. All right, so today doing photography, landscape photography. So as you can see here, because I'm going to try to find some footage to put in here, we're standing at the top of the bridge. You have a waterfall that's on the left, and then a river that's running through the middle. So I have two shots planned for today. We're going to try to get first one being of the main one, the valley or the gorge. I don't know what it's called. But okay, she's coming. She's gonna have to come. I don't know. The car can come. You're gonna move. I could hold your hand if you need to move closer. All right, we're gonna get a close up here. I guess I could take the camera while the car comes by. Hey, how you doing? Close up. So here's the Valley Gorge. As you can see, it is a very long way down. We got the waterfall on the left. Like I was saying, that car has passed. It's a single lane. Here you go, transitions. We'll smooth as we go along here. Yeah, so the first photo we're taking is of the river running through, and then we're going to change locations, try to get the left. I honestly, right now, don't even know if you guys can hear me, because there's a lot of wind. When I checked my audio recorder, it looked like the audios were peaking, so we're going to cross our fingers and hope it works. So let's get to the first order of business, which is the first photograph. I've honestly already taken like 20 different test shots. So you may not be seeing the one that I'm actually about to take here. This might just be for acting purposes. But so as you can see on the right hand side, we have a lot of light. The sun is currently set behind our camera woman, and then there is no sun actually down in the valley or the gorge, whatever it's called. I have no idea. Canyon, maybe? So we're going to have to take multiple different shots, multiple different exposures, and we're going to have to try to blend them together. So when I was taking some test shots, I was actually shooting about 3 different exposures. One for the water, because I want to get the water motion. I mean, there are rapids down there, so I want to kind of show that. So we have one exposure for that, another exposure for the trees on the left, kind of the mid-ground, and then a whole different exposure that is a lot, not as long, to not bring in too much light and overexpose the trees on the right. So we're going to take a couple of those. I'm shooting with a Nikon D5200. It is really a beginner's camera. I'm pretty sure I got it on Amazon in a bundle that was labeled cheap camera bundles. It doesn't matter. We're out here having fun. Oh, we have another car coming. I'm getting the hand. So let's bring you in here, and I'll show you what I have on my camera here. I don't even know quite if you could see it. Not really, but you could kind of see a little bit if I can bring my finger in here. See the light over here, and then also really dark in there. I'm pretty sure putting my finger in there messed up the exposure, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. We have the trees over here, really bright, really dark down here, so we need a whole different exposure for down here than what we're going to be using up here. Again, read down in the comments section a thank you for our camera lady who's now standing very close to me. I feel like I might be too close to the camera. I honestly have no idea what this looks like, so hopefully it turns out well. So we're just going to take the first exposure. When you're coming in, you would zoom in as far as you can, set your focus. I've already done that, so I'm not going to mess with it. Right now we have the settings at ISO 100 at f11 to make sure it's all going to be in focus. And then if I switch on over to where it's not showing you live view, because my camera doesn't really do great with the live view, I can go ahead and get it set for the first exposure, which is what we're going to take for the mountains on the side with the trees that are very bright. That's going to be at 1/80th of a second. So I'm just going to click. It's going to take that one. We're good to go. Now I'm going to move it down. And on your camera, you're going to have a little thing if you want to come in close here. I could hold your hand. There you go. Moving slowly. Don't look at my belly. Oh, my screen went dark. Let me try to pull that back up for you. So if you're looking at the back of your cameras, or it kind of depends on where it is, but you're going to see this little meter that's going to show up. If I could get it on here. And the screen keeps going closed, so that's fine. Yeah, so you see, if you see the little meter on there that's beneath the F11, that's going to tell you when you actually have things properly exposed. You want that to be meeting in the middle. What? There's another car? There's another car, so we're going to wait a second. I guess we could take the photo while we're here. The camera's at an odd angle here. So we're going to take the second one so that way things aren't moving too much. And so we're just going to go find that middle 0 and we're going to take that photo. Now I'm going to go down lower than what it's reading just because, again, I want to get the motion of the water in. So I'm actually going to shoot at 1/10 of a second for the water exposure. I'm going to come down here because she was squatting a little bit, and we're going to take that photo. And hopefully all these have turned out well. I'm going to blend these together to create one photo. It's going to blend all those exposures so we get a nice balanced photo. And while I show you this photo, I'm going to go ahead and move on over to our next location. All right, we've moved over to the next spot. This one is going to be just of the waterfall that I said was on that left-hand side. I might try to get another photo, a horizontal photo, landscape photo, that tries to get both of the water and the waterfall in there, but I'm not going to try to push my luck here with my fantastic camera lady. Again, give her love down below. She's a trooper for this one. So like I said, we're going to take this one of this waterfall. Whenever I take photos of waterfall, I love to do a long exposure just so you get that movement of the water. So let me pull this up so I can tell you guys exactly what I'm shooting with right now. So right now I have my settings set at ISO 100. I always try to shoot at ISO 100. I have my aperture at f11, and then my current shutter speed, again, the back camera keeps going dark, is at 1/8 of a second. So a lot longer than the ones that we were shooting for the side mounts or the side trees behind me, but very similar to what we were shooting for with the river down in the gorge canyon valley, whatever it is. So I'm just going to grab this camera from her real quick to show you guys exactly what the scene is that we're shooting. So let me see if I could tap on the camera. So there you go. So you guys see this waterfall is going almost all the way from the top where we are all the way down to the bottom. So it's going to be a beautiful shot here. Hello, how you doing? Back to the camera lady. All right, so again, similar to before, I've already taken at least one test shot. It looked fantastic. So we're going to go through it again. Again, normally you would zoom in as much as you can, set your focus. I've already done that to cut down on some of the time here. Yeah, so all we have to do here, make sure my settings are in. It's all focused. We're good to go. I'm just going to click the button. The camera does the rest. Obviously, we still have some editing to do after, but I'm very excited about this photo. It looks really nice. We're going to need to crop it a little bit just to get rid of some of the railing that's showing on the side, but I think this one looks nice. So let me know also down below what you guys think, what your favorite one is, and then I'm also going to try to set up for that second or that third one just to see if I could try to get both of these in one shot. All right, so we're set up for our last and final shot. In this one, we're going to try to combine the best of both worlds. Is there a car coming?
Sorry, I was staring at a person.
Oh, sorry, there's a person coming. I saw my camera lady staring. Had to make sure everything was good. All right, so we're going to combine the last two photos, or try to do our best to do that. Honestly, I already took a photo and it looks really fun. So we have the waterfall that's going to be on the left, the river that's kind of going through the middle a little bit, and then we have the wall of trees on this side. So very similar to that first photo. We are going to have to do some exposure blending. Most of the photo is going to be all in the same exposure, which is going to be the same as what we shot the waterfall one at. And we're going to need to bring that, quicken the shutter speed by a lot for the trees that are going to show in the side, because they are going to be much brighter because the sun is hitting them very harshly. There is no clouds in the sky today, which is very strange for Washington. We've been here for 3 weeks now, and we've barely seen blue sky, so it brought it out for us today for this first episode. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and take this photo. Again, I already took one with both of them, but I'll go over the quick specs with you guys on those. So again, we're going to be shooting at f11. Again, try to get everything in a nice sharp focus. We're shooting this first one that's going to be the main shutter speed for the whole photo is going to be taken at 1/8 of a second. Again, same as the waterfall photo we took. And then we'll do 1/80th of a second over for the trees that are honestly a lot brighter. So everything is set. We're all ready to go. We have that one taken, and then I'm going to adjust the shutter speed again to that 1/80th for the very bright trees so we don't overexpose those. And try not to lock your remote in like I did. Pretty sure I just took 18 different photos. But those are all the 3 photos we're going to be getting here today. So let me know after you guys see this one. Comment down below which one your favorite one was. If you've been to this location or other locations we should be checking out. But stay tuned. After this, we have like a 2.5 hour ride home. I think we're going to do a quick little Q&A session. Get to know us, as this is our first episode, and we want you guys to kind of stick along with us as a fly lands on my face as we go explore a lot more different places in the Pacific Northwest. Pretty sure I have a few really cool waterfalls besides this one that are lined up, so make sure you stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. Obviously, we're not in the car, so things didn't quite go right on the way back home. The audio was it was too bad. We had like a 25-minute video clip where we did a Q&A with you. I had my lovely camera lady ask me some questions that I think you guys might have been interested in. Fortunately, the audio was just really bad, and I already know the audio isn't going to be great while we're on the bridge due to the wind. The fact that I didn't have my little dead mouse or dead cat or whatever it is you guys like to call the little puff ball that goes on the end of the lob. So I'm going to make sure I bring that next time we're out, which there is definitely going to be a next time. This next week we are going to another waterfall location, so make sure you guys are sticking around to watch that video. And then also later this week we are going to have a photo editing video showing how I edited all of the photos we took today. It's going to be a really chill kind of video. It's not necessarily going to be like a how-to. We're just going to walk through. I'm just going to kind of talk about my thought process while I edit these photos, and you guys can let me know as well in that video how you guys liked it, if you would have edited those different, which one you think turned out best. You could also let me know in this one which one you guys think turned out best. I think my favorite one is probably the vertical waterfall. This is after I've edited all of them. I've even probably heard my dog just shake a little bit. But yeah, this is after I recorded the photo editing video, and I add this in because I just wasn't a big fan of the audio that came with it in the car. It was really loud. You couldn't really hear me full most of the time. Some of the time you could hear my camera lady. It just wasn't a great audio. All of it, but the audio was awful. Camera lady though, if you're watching, you did great filming, but we just ended up not being able to really use it. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick little Q&A, answer some of the questions that we answered in that here, and just so you guys could actually have some good audio and know that I'm trying to give you guys some high quality content here. So one of the questions was when did I start photography, and like basically what are my credentials? Why should you watch, basically? So I started photography when I was in college. I started college about 6-7 years ago now, I think. Unless I'm doing my math awfully wrong. But I started when I was in college. It was my sophomore year. I started college as an architectural engineer major, and my college sucked all the fun out of it. And as you could tell with just photography, and if you've noticed some of the other things that I do, like the eco apparel that I design and whatnot, I like to be creative. I like to have fun. The college I went to, they sucked all the creativity and fun out of architectural engineering, so I knew it was something that I needed to get out of. So I kind of went back onto something that I had done for a lot of my youth, and that was sports. Of course, I wasn't going to play sports. I decided before I even went to college that I was done with that. So instead I went into sports media production, and when I was there, they taught me all of the things that I needed to know about journalism with writing. They also taught me about broadcast, video. I've actually produced several televised sportscasts that were for the college that I went to, and it was a lot of fun. While I was there, I took one specific photography class, and honestly it was a bit of a disappointment because they really only talked about ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. And I already knew all about that kind of stuff. So I really didn't learn a lot when I was in the class, but it gave me an excuse to have like a 98 or something in a class in college, but also to just kind of practice and learn what styles I like and how I like to edit my photos. So that was, again, like at that point it had been like 5-6 years some odd ago, and all of photography, I think, was another question, is how do I think it's best to learn photography, and how did I learn? So like I said, the class I was in, it didn't teach much. So a lot of photography that I've learned has all been through mistakes made while out in the field, or watching a lot of YouTube videos, finding people that inspire me. So that's where I honestly suggest that if you're interested in photography, especially landscape photography, watch some YouTube content. Obviously, I'm going to say you should watch mine, but yeah, watch some YouTube content, see how others are doing it, but also go out and fail at some shots. Like, I would honestly say one of the shots that we took today was more of a fail. I thought it was going to look really nice when we first took it. It just ended up not being able to really balance very well, and that was the one that has the waterfall on the left and the water coming in to make that V shape. It was just too big of a contrast between the shadow area and the highlights. It was very difficult to try to balance it, but if you guys like it, then fantastic. I think maybe I did a good job in the editing process, but that's one that I definitely wish I would have had some better light for. The first one was just the Valley Gorge. Not awful. Again, definitely wish I had some better lighting with that one. But it's going to happen with landscape photography. You're going to fail sometimes, you're going to learn from it, and then you can apply that to the next time you go out. One question that wasn't in the Q&A, but that I also answered, was who are my photography, or specifically landscape photography inspirations and whatnot. So when I was first learning, I watched a lot of Peter McKinnon. It was when he first really boomed. It feels like anyone that was interested in photography was watching him. I watched him for quite a few years, and then I came across the Thomas Heaton channel, and he's been probably one of my bigger inspirations, I guess you could say, since. I watch his videos all the time. I just love the natural, I don't want to say minimalistic, like he's not taking photos of much, but he lets nature create his photos, and he just captures what it is that is presented to him. And that's very similar to, I feel, the style that I like. Like, I'm not gonna go in and do some super crazy editing to my photos, especially like changing out the skies or something. Like, that's not really what I'm about. I like the more naturalistic photos. So so Thomas Heaton, definitely one of my favorites there. I also watch a bit of Photo Tripper, a lot of the F4 guys, Adam Gibbs, and I can't remember his name, right? Nick Page. Don't necessarily watch a lot of his content, but when they're all collaborating, I like kind of seeing how he does things a little differently. I watch or follow all of them on Instagram and whatnot. So those are my inspirations, or kind of people I enjoy watching. And one of the last questions, and I think one of the biggest questions in landscape photography, is what gear am I using? So earlier in the video, I think when I was taking the first photo, you probably heard me say I'm shooting on a Nikon D5200. It's a very beginner-friendly camera, but it's not a bad camera. It will definitely let you learn a lot about photography, but it'll also give you room to improve later on when you are able to afford some higher quality cameras, I guess would be the proper term to say. And the next camera that I definitely want to get is a Fujifilm X-T3. There's already been an X-T4 and a bunch of other ones that have come out after it, but I think that'd be a really nice jump for me. Plus, I just really like the aesthetics also of the Fujifilm, and also the usability of it with all the different knobs, turn styles, whatever you want to call them on top. Just make things a lot more easier to use, to change, especially in landscape photography where you have to adjust to the light on a dime. You got to make a quick adjustment to ISO or aperture or shutter speed, any of those. And I feel like the Fujifilm does a really good job of that. So that's definitely what I want to, the next camera that I want to get. In terms of lenses that I'm using now, I have an 18-55, then a 55-200. Of course, my camera is a crop sensor, so those aren't the actual focal lengths that I have or that I'm shooting with, but that's what the lens says. They're not the super high quality ones either. Again, more of the beginner friendly or budget friendly, as I try to keep a lower budget. That's just more of my style getting into this, at least initially. So that's the camera setup. In terms of what I'm using to shoot video, I actually shot all of the earlier video, or I didn't shoot, but my camera lady did, on my phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. It can shoot up to 4K video. I just have it at the, I use the Pro video mode on it. 1080p, 24 frames per second. That's what you're used to seeing on TV. It's what I was taught in school. So that's what we use there. If I'm ever going to do slow motion video or anything, I'm going to probably either use my DSLR, or I could also use the phone, and both of those shoot up to 60 frames per second. I do have a GoPro Hero 5, I believe, that can go up to, I think, 120 frames per second, but I'm not a huge fan of the GoPro. It kind of warps the end of the frame of the video, and the colors aren't always fantastic. It's just a little bit harder to edit, so I don't use the GoPro as much. But when we're going to waterfalls, and especially if I have to get in the waterfall or in the river coming off the waterfall, a GoPro would be a great thing to kind of bring you guys a little bit closer to what I'm doing, rather than just having my camera lady standing on the bank or something. So those are definitely things we could use. In terms of audio, I know it wasn't great on the bridge, but like I said, I'm going to make sure I'm using that dead cat or dead mouse or whatever it is you guys like to refer to it as, just the puffball on it to help kind of lower some of that wind noise, help pick me up a little bit better. In terms of the car, I don't even know what happened there. That was just bad. That was bad. All you could hear was road noise. Yeah, so for the lav mic that I'm using, it is a Purple Panda. I actually have the pouch over here. Purple Panda. I like it. It is a wired one. It's not wireless, but I just connect it to this little Evister audio recorder, and it does great. I haven't had much of an issue with it besides in the car. The only thing I don't like about it is that I can't control the volume of it. So if all the scenarios around me just are too loud, I think that's what happened in the car. It just peaks too much and just destroys the audio. But for a normal thing like this, I used this for over a year, or about a year, when I was on the last channel where we just talked about photography and did some photo editing. It was great for that. As you can tell here, it's pretty solid audio. I also have a little mini shotgun mic that I might use sometimes. I might put that and connect that to the phone just as a secondary audio source in case this little guy messes up. I pressed a button, but it's fine. But in case that little audio recorder messes up, and it's a Rode Mic Mini, I believe. It's a Rode, I just don't know the exact name. It's the short little shotgun mic. Has a little jiggly head. I don't know if that's not the proper term to use. The shock mount, I think. Yeah, shock mount. A little shock mount that goes on the top of the camera. Can't attach that to the phone right now. I might look into getting like a little handheld rig thing that'll have like a light, the mic, and then the phone in the middle. But also have it to where eventually I might get a specific camera just for the vlogging part of it. But yeah, so those are the things I'm using now. Like I said, I have a Manfrotto video tripod. It's one that I do want to upgrade to more of a specific photography tripod, probably a fluid ball head, something that'll give me an easier access to turning the camera vertically. I don't know if you saw in the video, I had the like all jankily set up. I had it like tilted, I think it was like tilted back, so I had the handle up or down, and the camera was like not really straight vertical. It was like slightly off because of the little pin that goes into the bottom of a video camera, a specific video camera. So yeah, eventually I want to upgrade a tripod. So if you guys have any suggestions on tripods, let me know again down in the comment section below. And if you have any more questions for me, I can answer those in the next video as well. If you just put them down in the comment section below. You could also reach out to me on my social medias. Those are always going to be in the description box below, as well as some couple other links, like the shirt that you saw me wearing in the or on the bridge that had like the mountains and then the river that was running through. That's one of my own designs. It's one of them that I sell in my eco apparel. You're going to find that link down in the description box below. Then I might also link in there my other channel. I guess technically it'd be my third channel now that I don't use the old one. But yeah, that's going to be BigBearB Meditation, where I just have a little bit of fun every now and then and make like nature sounds. Sometimes I have some music in there. Just kind of help you relax a little bit, especially after a long adventure or hike or anything like that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're checking out that description box below. But that's going to be it for us today. Thank you for sticking along this very long video. And if you got to the Q&A part, thank you for sticking through the iffy audio that was here and there. Again, I'm going to try to get that fixed for you guys in next week's video. And you should be perfectly fine just like here with the photo editing video. So make sure you guys are checking that video out as well. And we'll see you guys next time. So see you later.